Welcome back to Security Explained channel. Imagine being asked to protect a building you've never seen. You don't know how many doors it has. You don't know where the windows are. You don't even know how big it is. That's what security looks like without asset enumeration. Asset enumeration is the process of discovering, identifying, and keeping track of everything you are responsible for protecting. It answers one of the most fundamental questions in security. What do we actually have? Without a clear answer to that question, security becomes guesswork. Asset enumeration is not about value yet. It's not about threats or vulnerabilities. It comes even earlier than that. Before you can protect assets, classify assets, or reduce exposure, you must first know what exists. And this is where many security failures quietly begin. Organizations often believe they understand their assets. In reality, they usually understand only a portion of them. Servers are spun up temporarily and never decommissioned. Cloud resources are created automatically and forgotten. Test systems quietly become production systems. Old integrations remain active long after their original purpose is gone. From an attacker's perspective, these forgotten assets are ideal targets. Asset enumeration is about eliminating blind spots. At a basic level, asset enumeration means creating an inventory of assets. But in security, that inventory must go deeper than a simple list. It includes hardware assets like servers, laptops, mobile devices, network equipment, and embedded systems. It includes software assets like applications, services, APIs, libraries, and dependencies. It includes data assets, databases, file systems, backups, logs, exports, and analytical datasets. It also includes identities, user accounts, service accounts, keys, tokens, and certificates. Each of these is an asset. Each of them can be targeted. One common mistake is assuming that asset enumeration is a one-time task, something you do at the beginning of a project or during an audit. In reality, asset enumeration is a continuous process. Modern systems are dynamic. Assets are created, modified, duplicated, and destroyed constantly, often automatically. If your asset inventory is static, it is already outdated. Let's look at this from an attacker's point of view. Attackers rarely start with deep knowledge of a system. They begin by enumerating what's visible. They scan IP ranges. They enumerate domains and subdomains. They probe APIs. They look for exposed services, forgotten endpoints, outdated versions. In other words, attackers perform their own asset enumeration from the outside. If defenders don't enumerate assets better than attackers do, attackers will always have the advantage. Good asset enumeration reduces that gap. It ensures that defenders know what assets exist, where they are, what they do, and how they are connected. Another critical aspect of asset enumeration is ownership. Every asset should have a clear owner, a team or individual responsible for its maintenance, security, and life cycle. Assets without owners are dangerous. They don't get patched, they don't get monitored, and when something goes wrong, no one notices quickly. Ownership turns assets from forgotten objects into managed responsibilities. Asset enumeration also establishes scope. Security controls, monitoring, and incident response all depend on knowing which assets are in scope. You cannot monitor systems you don't know exist. You cannot respond to incidents on assets that were never enumerated. Many high-profile breaches involved systems that were technically out of scope, simply because they were never properly identified. Another often overlooked benefit of asset enumeration is context. An asset by itself tells you very little. Its value and risk depend on how it connects to other assets. A database connected to the internet is very different from the same database behind multiple layers of isolation. A service account with limited permissions is different from one reused across environments. Enumeration is not just about counting assets, it's about understanding relationships. This is why mature asset enumeration includes metadata: what an asset does, who uses it, what data it touches, what other systems depend on it. Without this context, asset lists become long, but not useful. Asset enumeration also exposes complexity. Over time, systems grow organically. Shortcuts are taken. Temporary solutions become permanent. Enumeration makes that complexity visible. And, while that can be uncomfortable, it's necessary. Security cannot simplify what it refuses to see. There is also a strategic dimension to asset enumeration. Knowing your assets allows you to make informed decisions about consolidation, decommissioning, and redesign. Every unnecessary asset is additional exposure, maintenance cost, and risk.